What is the evolution of the modern handgun shooting stance? Why does it matter to you? Let's talk about that. Hey everybody, this is Mike with Personal Protection Academy. Let's talk about the modern evolution of the handgun shooting stance, because it's really had some big changes in my lifetime, to be honest. So in the early 20th century, what you had was the law enforcement agencies and FBI and so on and so forth. They really mimicked the old cowboy presentation. So they had their revolver, right? And the presentation was to present like this, right? To come in and it's a lower body stance and it's one-handed and it's unsighted shooting. Let's take a look at a 1961 FBI training video to see what it used to look like back then.
When fired double action from the hip, the revolver is almost lightning fast. The weapon is cocked and fired in one continuous motion of the trigger finger on the trigger. With practice, both speed and accuracy will be improved. Note the grouping of shots on these targets. They were fired at 7 yards from the first position on the FBI practical pistol course. However, without good form, speed and accuracy will be no better than hit or miss. Above all, learn good form and practice it religiously.
And so that's how all of law enforcement did it. Then really, it didn't change dramatically until about 1959, when Jack Weaver, an LA County Sheriff's deputy, went up to the leather slap competition up in Big Bear, California, in Southern California. And he introduced what everyone calls the Weaver stance. Completely different, two-handed presentation and sighted fire. And he won the competition in '59. So take a look at that photo there. One thing I really want to point out to you in that photo is that you'll notice that in comparison to how some of you may know the Weaver, take a look at Jack's left elbow. It's not extremely bent. And also take a look at his pelvis. His pelvis is facing the target. Now, the guy you may have noticed kneeling down next to Weaver was Colonel Jeff Cooper. Well, Colonel Cooper was a colonel in the Marines, and he became what we call today as kind of really the father of the modern shooting techniques. He adopted a version of the Weaver stance. Now let's take a look at the Weaver stance with Weaver and Cooper standing next to each other. So you'll see here on one side is Weaver, and you'll see Weaver's support side elbow is not down. Well, when Cooper adopted the Weaver stance, Cooper had injured shoulders, so he dropped that support side elbow down so you can see it very clearly. Then in the 70s, along came Ray Chapman. He was the world IPSC shooting champion in 1975. And let's take a look at Masada Ayoub's picture of him doing the Chapman stance. Why is this important? It's because Masada Ayoub worked side by side with Chapman. Well, Chapman never actually called it the Chapman stance. He called it the modified Weaver stance. But a lot of people know it as either the modified Weaver or the Chapman stance. And you'll notice here where Masada Ayoub's being photographed that support side foot is quite a ways back. Then in the 1980s and 90s, we had two competitors, Brian Enos and Rob Lathrop. They were world champion competitive shooters, and they adopted what we call the isosceles stance. So take a look at these two photos. You'll see that essentially the isosceles stance is the big difference there is that both feet are on the same plane and they're facing towards the target. You're bent slightly forward and you create an isosceles triangle in your arms and in your legs. Now, the modern isosceles became a bit more popular in the 2010s, and we have a lot of competitive shooters that adopted that, and that's where you lean forward quite a bit more. Your shoulders and your head are further forward on your body. Now, finally, I want to conclude with what's kind of the modern stance, and it's very little is talked about this stance. I'm going to show you here a picture of Scott Jedlinski, one of the popular proponents of this type of stance. And you'll notice when you watch the video of him doing a single shot from concealment, notice his feet, his legs, his torso, his head don't move. All you're getting is the body is erect, the body is in a simple standing position, and it's the hands moving with lightning fast speed. Take a look at Jedlinski.
Shooter ready. Stand by. 95.
This is more of the type of stance that we promote here at Personal Protection Academy. To be honest, we don't talk about stance that much because if you're in a gunfight and you're standing still, you're creating problems for yourself. We care more about getting that firearm out in an effective, efficient manner, getting shots on target. So that's an evolution of the modern pistol shooting stance. What do you think? Did I miss something? Is there something else I should have included? What do you think? Which type of stance do you use and why? All right, leave your comments down below and we'll see you next time on the range. Bye-bye.